first half. We were trying to be we were unselfish, maybe to a fault. But then we started hitting the first open man, and that opened things up for us.
What did you think of Karl's performance, especially in the second half? He seemed like he was really active on both ends.
Yeah, and it was pretty, he had a terrific game, all-around game. You talk about the block shots, the rebounding, making plays out of the post, the scoring, big buckets, just great activity the whole night, So he's getting into a really good rhythm. He's trying to make the right plays. He's trying to do the right things, get into a second and third effort defensively, and that's huge for us.
What is the dynamic where you go with KAT and Dario versus KAT and Taj? I mean, what is the different dynamic? Yeah,
and it's great. It's like you have two totally selfless guys who put the team first. So sometimes it's the flow of the game. If they have the fourth quarter group got into a pretty good rhythm, so we wrote it out. Sometimes it's the matchup. It's what we're looking for, maybe a little more defensively. Sometimes it might be the shooting. But I liked the way they both put the team first, and sometimes we finish with Taj, sometimes we finish with Dario, and sometimes we finish with Wig at the 4. So it gives us great flexibility in the way Jeff was going, and Wig had a terrific all-around game as well. When you still look at his playmaking in that game, that activity, it was excellent.
What did you see in the third quarter that led you to stick with that starting group longer than you typically do?
Yeah, in the first half, we subbed out Robert a little bit earlier, and Kemba was still in, and so I was trying to match up more with what they were doing, and it was pretty tight there. So when they were breaking their lineup, that's when I was going to break ours.
Karl mentioned after the game that, again, this was another case where the team comes in at halftime. There's a lot of discussion about what needs to change in the second half. Is this becoming a good habit that you like to see, and kind of the culture that you want, where guys come in, it's constructive, they're talking, and they come out in the second half?
Well, it's important to talk about what's going on. What we have an opportunity to do is we can watch film at halftime too. And so I think that helps more than anything. But again, I think the third quarter, we still have to play better in the third quarter. So it's not like it's an end-all, be-all. But I do like players talking to each other, particularly not the halftime is great, but more so during the course of a game. It's the things that you're seeing out there, and sometimes it's just a guy being up a step. Sometimes it's they can see things, and I think the more they play with each other, the more they understand it. Sometimes offensively it could be, okay, they're overplaying and they're switching, but it's a loose switch, so the screener slips, and we got an easy bucket there. Sometimes it's the cut and the pop, and now we got an open 3. Sometimes it's, okay, they're over-helping from the nail, okay, the slot pass is open. So the things that we're seeing, communicate that with and take advantage of it, because that's as you go through this, it's and again, I think the most important thing is how you prepare. It's the practice. I thought they were great yesterday in practice in terms of we watched film on what they do, and to be ready. And a couple times things happened in the game, and it's not going to be perfect, but you could tell by the reaction when we do make a mistake. It's recognized by the player almost immediately now, and so it doesn't happen again, and that's important as well.
You mentioned Andrew's activity. What did you just think of him, especially in the second quarter? It seemed like the team needed an energy burst there to get back in it, and he kind of seemed to provide it.
I'm sorry?
Andrew seemed to kind of provide that energy burst that this team needed in the second quarter.
Yeah, no, he's playing very aggressively right now, and we need him downhill, attacking, not hesitating on a shot. Defensively, he's flying around, which I think the more he's in motion, the better it is for us. So we have to have him continue to do that and then build on it. And I think there's still a lot of room for him to take off.
Karl's defensive rating was 93.2 tonight, which was almost 8 points lower than any other Wolf. I mean, to put that kind of insane defensive rating number up in a game, I know it's one game, but something has clicked for him defensively, I think. What do you think?
Well, I'm still waiting for a defensive rating system that is accurate. So, but the eye test, it passed, like for sure. And so I just think every game he's getting better and better, and he was everywhere tonight, and even if something doesn't go, and there was a play that, we broke down, he pursued it, Kemba drove, but Jeff pursued from behind and got that block late. And it's things like that, not quitting on plays and pursuing plays. It's the second and third effort. So I think we're seeing more of that. But you're right. I think he's made huge strides defensively. And for us to be a great team, I think we have to be great on that side of the ball.
Covington and Rose seem to be your bridge guys. Your guys that you go from the first unit to the second unit and vice versa. What qualities do you need to have a guy like that to be able to kind of ride the difference in the team over?
Yeah, and it's hard to it's an intangible in terms of both of those guys, because it's who they are and what they're bringing to the team and how they're moving the group forward. And so the team first is so important to both of those guys and winning. And I think they both want to see their teammates have success. So the leadership that they're providing is strong, because it's done in a way in which they're not afraid to point things out, but they're encouraging, and that helps to lift people up. And I think that's important. So you got two veterans that have been through things, and quite honestly, Robert early on, he got the foul, so that was a problem. But the thing, just like we saw in the game in which he didn't shoot the ball well, he played a great game. And tonight, the same thing. He didn't allow the foul trouble to take him out of what he needed to do. And I thought he was really strong in the second half. And that speaks to his mental toughness to be able to navigate through things. And sometimes things aren't going your way. You still have to have the ability to get through that and make something good happen.